Hello, so today we are talking about surface area of two of our 3D solids, which are prisms and cylinders. We will save pyramids and cones for the next lesson. So, it's so much easier for me to show you what's what in class, like on an actual solid, but this is what notes look like last year too, and most people got it, so we should be fine. Okay, so let's talk about what these vocab words are because you need to know what they are. Okay, so the base. All right, so first off, let's look and see what this is. This has two bases, so it's a prism, and they're connected by rectangles, so it's a prism. And those bases are hexagons. They have 6 sides. So there are 2 bases in this particular diagram. This yellow piece is a base, and the one up top is a base too, but I'm not going to color them both, otherwise it's going to get out of control. Okay, next we have altitude. Okay, altitude is the exact same thing as the height. The height or the altitude is always perpendicular to the 2 bases. So this right here is your height or your altitude. It could go from the center to the center, right? But that one's just not drawn in, okay? Okay, let's see what's next. Lateral edge and a lateral face. Okay, so a lateral edge, so first off we have to know what lateral is. Lateral is everything but the bases, okay? So there are 6 lateral faces on this being one of them. So that's 1 lateral face, here's another 2, here's another 3, here's another 4, here's another 5, and then here's another 6. So it's the faces that are not bases. That's what a lateral face is. So I will color in this one right here. That's a lateral face. And then last but not least, which I skipped over, but it makes sense to skip over it, a lateral edge. So lateral edge, there's 6 of them in this one also. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the ones that are not lateral edges are these ones that are here connecting, making the base. So those are base edges, okay? So it should make sense. If you forget what something is, you could always look back at the notes key to see what's what. Okay, so we classify prisms by the shape of its base. Try to name each of these prisms. Go ahead and think about those 3. All right, this first one right here, cube, or because it's a Rubik's cube, so it's a cube. But if you said rectangular prism, you're not wrong. That's like calling a square a rectangle. A square is a rectangle. This one right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It has 6 sides on each of its bases. So this is a hexagonal prism, and then this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a pentagonal prism. Now this one, notice it looks like someone bumped into it and it's like leaning to the side. That's called an oblique prism. This one right here, which is standing straight up, right prism. This is a right prism. So if it's like, looks like someone budged into it and knocked it over, oblique. If it's not like that, it is right. And most of the ones we work with are right prisms. Okay, so let's get on to the formula. So, let me change my pen here. Back to surface area. So, surface area is everything that you can touch on the prism. So that's all the lateral faces and the bases. So everything that you can touch, okay? Surface area is denoted by the variable capital letter T. The reason it's capital letter T and not S is because it's actually total surface area, okay? Now, finding the area of, let's say I don't want the total surface area. Say that I just want the lateral faces. That would be called the lateral area. So that's everything but the bases. Okay, so no bases here. Include bases here. Okay, that we use an L for, so that's not hard to remember. L is lateral area. Okay, so let's talk about the lateral area of a prism. Okay, so if I wanted to find the lateral area of a prism, now, I used to take time to explain where this formula comes from in class, but it's hard to do that without having the 3D object in front of you, okay? So I'm just going to tell you what the formula is. It is capital letter P which stands for perimeter of the base, times, oops, I forgot I put the times there, but I don't need it yet. So base, and then it's times height, which is height of the prism. Okay, so that's for just the lateral area. Now, if you want the surface area, you have to add the two bases, the top and the bottom, to it. So the formula for surface area is capital letter T is equal to the lateral area, which is perimeter times height, plus, and then there's two bases. Okay, now remember this capital, not remember, but just so you know, this capital letter B stands for area of the base. So P is perimeter, capital letter B is area of the base. P is perimeter of the base, B is area of the base. All right, so note, I said this, not yesterday, but the notes that we did prior to this, that for a rectangular prism, since you are like, wait, which one's the bases? They're all rectangles. We're always going to use what it sits on, okay? So what it's sitting on is what we're going to use as the base. So that's because so that our work all looks the same, okay? If we did not use the same bases, we'd still get the same answers. It's just that our work wouldn't look the same, okay? For any other prism, you're going to use the polygon that is the base. So it's not necessarily sitting on its base. Okay, so first thing you have to do when doing these problems is you have to identify what it is. We're going to start off by identifying them for you. This is a rectangular prism, okay? So first thing I'm going to do is write down the formula for surface area of a rectangular prism. So that is capital letter T equals perimeter times height plus 2 times area of the base. Okay, so now I see the variables that I need to find. I need to find P, which is perimeter of the base. I need to find H, which is height of the prism. And I need to find capital letter B, which is area of the base. So what's really important is to know what the base is. So on a rectangular prism, we're always going to use the bottom as the base. Okay, so this is your base. I like to draw it separately. Of course, mine froze. Wonderful. I like to draw it separately so that my diagram doesn't get too messy, but you can just label it on here too. It's fine with me. So I'm going to draw it separately over here. So this is my base. I'm going to color it, and it's a rectangular prism, so it's rectangle shaped. It's just on an angle from your viewpoint here. All right, so this side right here I know is 4 centimeters. And then this side right here I know is the same length as this, so it's 5 centimeters. Okay, so let's see the things that we need to get. So first off, we need to get the perimeter, okay? So the perimeter is equal to, adding up all the sides. So there's 2 sides that are 5, and there's 2 sides that are 4, right? Or you could do 5 plus 5 plus 4 plus 4. All right, so that is 10 plus 8, so the perimeter is 18 centimeters. Okay, and my iPad froze again. Love it. Just loving today. I think it's because I'm too zoomed in, so maybe I won't zoom in as much. Okay, so now let's see what else I need here. So I got perimeter. I can actually start to fill that in. So I'm going to put T equals, I need the perimeter, I need the height, plus 2 times, I need the area of the base. Okay, so perimeter. Just got the perimeter is 18 centimeters. All right, now I'm going to get the height of the prism, okay? So height of the prism, if this is the base, the height comes up from the base. So that is 3, just like it says over here. So the height is 3. Plus 2 times area of the base. So I did not find the area of the base yet, so I'm going to go back to my drawing off to the side. Area of the base, this is a rectangle. The formula is length times width, or base times height. 4 times 5. So the area of the base is 20 centimeters squared. All right, now I can find the total surface area. I'm going to put this in my calculator. I'm going to do 18 times 3 plus 2 times 20. And I get that it is 94 centimeters squared. Okay, now this is surface area, right? So I'm talking about all the area, the 6 areas added up on this particular object. So this is in centimeters squared. All right, next one. Find the lateral area and the surface area of the figure. So this one I didn't tell you what it is, so we have to know what this is. It's very important that you identify what it is, because if you don't, you might use the wrong formula. Okay? So this is a prism again, but what kind of prism? If you look at the bases, it's not sitting on its bases. It's turned on its side, so you still have to recognize it as these two are the bases. So the base is a triangle, so this is a triangular prism. All right, so this says find the lateral area and surface area. So let's start with lateral area. Lateral area is equal to the perimeter of the base times the height of the prism. So I need the perimeter of the base and the height of the prism. So here's where people make mistakes. On this, it's always triangular prisms, okay? You follow the same exact method that I just did. Okay, I'm going to draw the triangle off to the side. Here's a common mistake, people. They draw this off to the side. That would make it a rectangular prism. So that's not true. Okay, I know this is 6 inches. I know this is 8 inches. Okay, so what do I need again? The perimeter. So I need to know what this is. How can I find that? Pythagorean theorem, of course. X squared, nope, not x squared. 8 squared plus 6 squared equals x squared. 64 plus 36 equals x squared. 100 equals x squared. So x is 10. So this is 10 centimeters. See that? All right, now I can find the perimeter. So I'm going to do perimeter is equal to, I'm going to add up all the sides. 6 plus 8 plus 10. So the perimeter is 24 inches. Remember, it's not area, it's just adding up all the sides. So I don't know why I put centimeters here. It's supposed to be inches. There we go. Okay, so I got perimeter. That was 24. Now I need the height of the prism. So most common mistake people put is 8. The prism is not sitting on its base. So you have to imagine if I flipped it so that it is sitting on its base, how tall would it be? It comes up from the base, so that is 20. Also, what you should realize is that height is never one of the numbers from here unless it's a repeated number. Like if there's a 6 on both of them, then that can be true. But it's never going to be something from that diagram. So it's not going to be 8, it's not going to be 6, it has to be 20. Okay, so now I can get lateral area. 24 times 20 is 480. Once again, it's lateral area, so inches squared. All right, now I'm ready to get surface area. So surface area is T equals perimeter times height plus 2 times area of the base. So I need perimeter times height, which I already did. It's 480, so I'm not going to redo that work. Plus 2 times, and then I need the area of the base. So come back over to your base drawing. I didn't find the area yet. So first I have to identify what it is. It's a triangle. What's the formula for area of a triangle? 1/2 base, which is 6, times height, which is 8. So that is 24 inches squared. Coincidence that it's the same as the perimeter. And I zoomed in too close, therefore I have to exit out of it. Okay, I gotta learn my lesson here. Okay, so now I'm gonna put that number here, 24, and then put that in my calculator. 480 plus 2 times 24 is 528 inches squared. Okay. All right, next one. Find the lateral area and the surface area of the figure. If necessary, round to the nearest tenth. So when you see that, it's most likely going to have a decimal that you have to round. So first off, let's start with lateral area. I'm going to see what this is first because I don't even know what formula to write down yet. Well, I do because we only know 2, but in the future you won't. So I can see that there's 2 bases that are hexagons. So this is hexagonal. And then connected by rectangles, so prism. Okay, so first off, lateral area. Lateral area is equal to perimeter of the base times the height. Okay, so I need the perimeter of the base and I need the height. So here is my base, which is a hexagon. You can redraw this. You don't have to. I'm going to redraw. Why not? Make it nice and big too. There, it's beautiful. Okay, and then I know this is 14 feet. Okay, so I need perimeter first. So perimeter, and hey, are you frozen again? Sweet. Good. This is a good day, huh? Okay, so perimeter, I'm going to add up all the sides of my base. I'm going to change colors here. That's what I was trying to do when it froze. Perimeter is equal to, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides that are 14. So I can do 14 plus 14 plus 14 plus 14 plus 14 plus 14, or I can do 6 times 14. And it does, everything we're working with is going to be regular. So it doesn't say that in this one for some reason, but it is a regular hexagonal prism. Okay, so perimeter 6 times 14, 60 plus 24, 84 feet. Put the 84 right here. All right, now I need the height of the prism. The height of the prism comes up from the base, and it's sitting on its base, so I can see that it's just the vertical piece, which is 48. Put that in my calculator, and I get 4032 feet squared. All right, now I need the total surface area. So total surface area equals to perimeter times height plus 2 times area of the base. Perimeter times height I already did. It's 4032, so I'm just going to write that down. Plus 2 times, and then I need the area of the base. Okay, so now I need the area of this base here. So I need the formula for area of a regular hexagon. This is from last chapter. Remember, it's 1/2 apothem times perimeter. Okay, so let's go through and say, okay, did I give you the apothem? No, because it's right here. I didn't give it to you, so we're going to put an A right there. So I'll leave a space for it. Leave it nice and big because we know that it's not going to be pretty. Perimeter, did I give you the perimeter? Yeah, it's right here. It's 84. Right? Okay, so now I need to find the apothem. I zoomed in, but I got to do it. Okay, so I need to find the apothem. How long is this piece right here? Well, the whole side's 14, so this is 7 feet. How do I find this angle? 360 divided by the number of sides, which is 6, divided by 2. So that's 30 degrees. So see how we're still using stuff from the last chapter in this chapter? We're going to use a lot of last chapter stuff. So it's good because we're going to be practicing. Okay, so finding the apothem, this is opposite and adjacent. Opposite, adjacent. So we're using tangent. So tangent of 30 degrees is equal to opposite, which is 7, over adjacent, which is A. Cross multiply, A times tangent 30 is equal to 7, and then divide both sides by tangent 30. So this right here is your apothem, right? So A is equal to that, so you're going to put that right there. Now, some of you on your formative for your chapter 10 test, put a decimal here. You don't want to keep putting decimals in your answers because you're getting farther and farther away from the correct answer. If I put a decimal in here and then round the final answer to another decimal, it's off. Okay, so put this in your calculator and see what you get. Okay, now, is this my final answer? Is the base my final answer? No. So remember, if we get a decimal and it's not our final answer, you're going to write down 4 decimal places, which is 509.2229, okay? And then you're going to plug that in right here, 509.2229. Then I'll put this whole thing in my calculator, and around that to the nearest 10th, which is 1 decimal place. So if I put that in my calculator around to the nearest 10th, I get 5,050.4 feet squared. Okay, so it's still practicing what we learned last chapter. All right, let's move on to cylinders. Cylinders are super easy. We're going to look at cylinders, as you can see. And then I have you try examples. I'm going to go through those really quickly. I'll do 7 first before I do 6, because if you need to see another triangular prism, it's a good one to see it with. Okay? All right, so let's go back to cylinders. Can you figure out where each of these belong? So altitude. Altitude is another word for height. So this is your altitude right here. It connects the two bases. Base, those are the two bases right there. There's one right here and one right here. I can color both. And then the axis goes from the center of one of the circles to the center of the other circle. So the axis has the same measure as the altitude or the height. Okay. Once again, I would totally, completely explain with a picture, or sorry, not with a picture, with an object. I have cylinders in my classroom, where this formula comes from, but without that, without you seeing that, it's hard to explain. So I'm just going to give you the formula. Lateral area is equal to 2 times pi times r. That should look familiar. And then times the height, right? Okay, remember this is just another word for perimeter, or it's not another word. Circumference is another word for perimeter, and this is circumference right here. So that's why it's a similar formula. All right, total surface area. Total surface area is the lateral area. So this 2 pi r h plus, and then I need this base and this base, the area, right? Instead of putting plus 2b, I'm going to put plus 2, but the bases are always circles. What's the formula for area of a circle? Pi r squared. So there's your two formulas there. Okay, cylinders are super easy. Find the lateral area and surface area in terms of pi and rounded to the nearest tenth. Okay, so let's start with lateral area, then we'll do surface area, and then we'll get our rounded to the nearest tenth answer at the end. We'll wait to the end. Okay, lateral area, 2 times pi times r times h. Lateral area equals 2 times pi times, what's the radius? Half the diameter, so 10 times the height, 21. All right, so let's start with exact lateral area. That is not putting pi in your calculator, but keeping pi in your answer because you didn't put it in your calculator. So I'm going to see what 2 times 10 times 21 is, which is 420. But then remember, it's still times pi because I didn't put pi in my calculator. And now I need my units. This is area, so it's meters squared. That's my exact answer. Okay, now let's get our exact answer for our total surface area. That's 2 times pi times r times h plus 2 pi r squared. Okay, I'm not going to do this math again. It's right here. It's 420 pi plus 2 times pi times, I need the radius squared. We already said the radius is 10. Okay, so exact answer. I zoomed in. I couldn't help it. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to get what this exact answer is first. Okay, to get that exact answer, I need to know what 10 squared is times 2. You can use your calculator, but you could also do it in your head. That is 200 pi. So this is 420 pi plus 200 pi. Now realize these are like terms because they both have pi in them, so I can combine them. So this is 620 pi, and then that my unit is meters squared. So these are my two exact answers. To get my rounded to the nearest tenth answer, I'm going to put that in my calculator. What am I going to put in my calculator? I'm going to put 420 pi in my calculator and hit enter. Once again, you want to use the pi button and not the not 3.14 because then you are using a rounded answer. So here's your rounded answer, and then do the same thing for this one. So do 620 and then hit the pi button. And that's 1947.8 meters squared. See? Okay, so notice I have one example of a cylinder, and then I just have something to bring up here. So what I want you to notice is that if the cylinder from example 4 was sliced in half horizontally, what would the surface area of this be? Okay, what would the surface area of this be? So realize when you're looking at this here, you still have two bases. So we're still going to keep our two bases, but it's half of this right here. So that's the lateral area. So it would be 2 times pi times r times h, just like the formula says, but half of that. Plus, and then there's still two bases, so 2 pi r squared. So that would be 2 times a half is 1. It would just be pi rh plus 2 pi r squared. Okay, but what if we cut the cylinder this way instead, right? So if I wanted the surface area of this piece right here, I'd only have one base this time, right? So I would either say half of 2 pi r squared, or I can just say, okay, that's 1 pi r squared because there's just one circle. And then also it's half of the cylinder, so half of 2 pi rh. Okay? But what you have to realize here is you also have this extra piece right here, which is this rectangle. So I need to add the rectangle to that. Okay? So if I simplify this, that's pi rh plus pi r squared plus the rectangle. So depending on which way you cut it, it could have two different formulas. Okay? So that's just something to think about. We won't get too crazy with that at all. I just wanted to bring it up. All right, really quickly, lateral area and surface area in terms of pi. So lateral area, let's just do in terms of pi and not to the nearest tenth. Save ourselves some time here. All right, 2 times pi times r times h. 2 times pi times 7 times 12. Exact answer only, I said. So we are going to do 2 times 7 times 12 and not put pi in our calculator, but put it in our answer. And that is 168 pi centimeters squared. Total surface area, 2 pi rh plus 2 pi r squared. 2 times pi times, oh no, I don't have to do that. Wasting my time here. We already did this. We already did 2 pi rh. It's 168 pi. So 168 pi plus 2 times pi times my radius, which is 7 squared. All right, so remember, you're going to find out what this is next so that you can combine like terms because they both have pi in it. So 168 pi plus 7 squared is 49. 49 times 2 is 98. And then combine those, and that is 266 pi centimeters squared. There's my two exact answers. If I wanted round to the nearest tenth, I just put in my calculator. Okay, so I'm going to do one more triangular prism, and then if you're good, you can stop the video and move on to the homework. If you want to see one more rectangular prism, I'll do that next. Okay, so triangular prism, because it has triangular bases. Okay, so we're going to do lateral area and surface area. So let's start with lateral area, perimeter times height. I need the perimeter of the base. I need the height of the prism. So first off, to say what is the base? I need to know what it is, the shape meaning, because I have to find the perimeter of it. So this is a triangular prism, so the base is a triangle. So you could either use this one or this one down here. Okay, so once again, I have to draw it off to the side. Okay, so what do I know? This is 4 inches. This is 3 inches. I need to find the perimeter. So perimeter, I'm going to use P like I always have. And I'm going to add up the sides. 3 plus 4 plus, and then I need that side right there. Notice it's a right triangle, so I can use Pythagorean theorem. But even quicker than that, if the legs are 3 and 4, what's the hypotenuse? 5. So the perimeter is 7 plus 5, which is 12 inches. 12. All right, now I need the height of the prism. Remember, it's not 3, it's not 4, it's not 5. I can tell you that, right? So it connects your two bases. That's 2. So the lateral area is 24 inches squared. Total surface area, perimeter times height plus 2 times the area of the base. Total surface area is lateral area, which is 24, plus 2 times, and then I need the area of the base, which I haven't done yet. So I'm going to come over here, switch colors. I'm going to say the area of the base. So I'm going to find the area of this. It's a triangle. 1/2 base times height. So here's the mistake people make. They say the base is 5. Remember, bases and heights are perpendicular. Okay, bases and heights are perpendicular. So it would be your 3 and your 4. Sorry, I'm turning my alarm off that keeps going off. So that is 6 inches squared. Put that there, put it in your calculator, and you get that it's 36 inches squared for your total surface area. Not too bad, right? Okay, if you're good, go ahead, stop, go do the homework. If you want to see one more, this is a rectangular prism. Lateral area first, perimeter times height. I need the perimeter of the base. Remember, on a rectangle, the perimeter is what it's sitting, or sorry, the base is what it's sitting on. So I'm not going to redraw this one just to save some time here. There's 2 sides that are 2 plus 2 sides that are 2. So really that's a square, but I can still call it a rectangular prism because this is not a square, so it's not a cube. Okay, so rectangular prism still. So perimeter is 8. Then I need the height of the prism. It's not 2 or 2, right? It's this 6 right here. So the lateral area is 48 millimeters squared. Total surface area, perimeter times height plus 2 times the area of the base. 48 plus 2 times, and then I need the area of the base. Area of the base, length times width, or base times height, 2 times 2. So that's 4 millimeters squared. Put a 4 here. 48 plus 8 is 56 millimeters squared. Okay, so that is it for today. I'm trying to see if there's anything in my notes that I didn't touch on. It doesn't look like it. So go ahead and get started on the homework. All right.